Hey, brothers and sisters, I know another video, same day, it's still raining, I'm driving, but I felt pressed to share with you a couple things. I think it will help the people who are striving for holiness. They love God. Just want to share with you testimony real quick. So once I realized that uh, that God's ways, His word is truth, and that lawlessness is what's going to lead people into the pit, if you will. Like where God says, or Yahusha says, I don't know you, you workers of lawlessness. What happened was I was convicted in my heart to obey God. And that did two things. I had to abstain from certain things and start doing others. The thing I abstained from, I stopped doing the celebrations of Christmas and Easter. Okay, it's a hard one to break for a lot of people because they're used to it. It's traditional. It will make you weird because your family's going to think you lost your mind. But to me, as a leader of my home, I had young children. It was more important to me to tell them the truth and teach them the truth because I saw what God said in His Word about when we reject His law, we reject doing His ways, His things, His ways, we're going to, He'll reject us as being priests to Him. And so I was very convicted by that in Hosea. And I didn't even understand what Hosea was about, but those words convicted me. So I had to abstain from doing the things that God says He hates. And then the question is, what does God want from me to do, the positive commandments to do? And to me, when I was searching and I started to read about the Sabbath day, I was like, okay, it's in the Ten Commandments, but is it really important? Is it ceremonial? All those things. It was God's conviction when I was sick, and He took me to a low place, and He showed me. Okay, He showed me, and He told me, I know you might say that's crazy. God speaks to His people. It says if we hear His voice, and I believe that is still true today. If we hear His voice and do what He says, follow our shepherd, He will lead us in the paths of righteousness because of His name's sake, not because of anything other than Him choosing. He's chosen you. So then I started keeping the Sabbath day, the seventh-day Sabbath. I was already out of the Sunday church, and it wasn't because they kept it on Sunday. That didn't bother me. What bothered me is they were lying, and they were prophesying lies, and you know, like, you don't even have to understand the whole law or anything about the law to hear that they're lying to you and telling you stories and making you comfortable in sin. But the encouragement that I want to leave to the brethren is that we are in a period of time where it's really important that the believers are really taking a self-reflection inventory of how they practice their faith and be willing to do whatever God says. And you're going to find what God's instructions are in the Bible. And if you read the Bible for yourself and you speak to God and you ask and seek and knock, He will open up to you and show you the things that you're doing wrong so that you can correct them. Or He will encourage you in the things you're doing right because you'll have opposition, but you're going to follow God, not what men and the traditions of men in the church are. He'll show you that you're grafted into Israel, God's people. He'll show you that the obedience to God's law isn't a Talmudic thing from what the Jews do. He'll show you that Christianity has beautiful people, just like in Judaism and other religions, but they're led astray by the lies of their fathers. So these are the things that always, bring me back to Yah's word. It's like the Psalms, the Proverbs, there's wisdom, there's a heart cry. You see the restoration that God provides because of His very nature. His name is His nature, His power, His convictions, all the things that He is a reflection of what a good Father is. That's why we can call Him Abba through the spirit of adoption. So we're grafted into Israel. We're Yah's people. We're God's people, right? So let that be an encouragement to you. So if you're stuck on the fence and you're like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do, pray and listen to the voice of God, and then do what He says. You don't have to be perfect at it. I'm still not. I'm still working on my salvation with fear and trembling. I still am really trying to do the will of Yah in my life. So, okay, I'm using social media prayerfully and hopefully to help people hear God's voice, not mine, right? Get the Bible. Start reading it. Study it. And I understand it's not easy because you have a job, you have kids to raise, and you don't sleep enough as it is. But find 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, and find that time. It's so critical, because even though you're sleep deprived, you feel like your relationships are all falling apart. If that one's right, if your feet are upon the rock, then you will have a peace that people can't take from you. You have an identity in Messiah that the enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy from you. And he'll use every means to do it. But Yah's faithful. He's faithful and he's just. And it's hard, right? Because you're like, man, my flesh is nasty. It wants to sin. I'm telling you, God can change your heart. If he changes your heart, then the outward reflection of your faith will be actions that are righteous and holy. And so please just consider it. Go look at the scriptures. And, I did a Zoom with some brothers and sisters last week about holiness, what it means to be holy and who's instructed to be holy. It's on YouTube, and I think it's on YouTube. We didn't do it on Instagram, but please go to that Zoom. It's long, but if you do the playback speed of 1.5, you'll get the gist of what was being said, and you'll see a gathering of fellowship of people who have love for each other, maybe disagree on some things, but there's a unity there that Yahusha, Jesus, the Messiah, the Christ, that he instructed his followers, his believers to be like. And test the teaching. But Leviticus 19 is how you love your neighbors yourself. Okay, so included in that is there's the 10 commandments are listed right there in Leviticus 19. And it says to be holy, for I am holy, says Yahuwah, right? So if I'm being set apart, which is what holiness means, it's not, being super, pious about your faith, because that's what's turned many people away from the faith, is you see the hypocrisy in the people who are claiming to believe in God and his son, and they do the things of the world, and you're like, yeah, why would I believe this person? Well, our Messiah said in Matthew 23, the things they tell you from the seat of Moses, right, the Torah, the prophets, the writings, take care and do those things. But don't do what they do because they're hypocrites. So he even told you that there's going to be teachers, false teachers, wolves, hirelings, getting you to believe in something they're telling you, but not following in the Messiah's footsteps or doing the will of God in your life, which is obeying his laws. And when you obey his laws, it's not like, "Ooh, look at me, I'm obeying his laws." You just do them. You do them by the nature now within you. The natural man cannot obey the things of God. The Spirit is what compels you to do it. And when you live your life by the Spirit, then you'll be doing the things of God that accord with his law, which is why there's no law against the fruit of the Spirit from Galatians 5. So, so that's it. Just wanted to share that with you about the very practical things of, giving up things. I'm very empathetic and sympathetic to people who are struggling with this, because either their friends, their spouse, their parents are not on the same page, and you feel like an alien. Well, you are an alien. Not the one that they're promoting on the news and stuff, but that you're an alien, meaning you're a stranger in a strange land. You're in this world, but you're not of it, because you're looking forward to a glorious day when you be with your God, right? Your King, your Messiah. You're going to be in eternal life. It's something so precious that, once you grab hold of it, there's nothing else that matters in your life. So, keep trusting in Yah, trust in his word, and make practical steps to obey God. He's going to punish the children that he loves. Like it says that he'll chastise you like a father that loves their son. So if you feel like you're chastised a little bit, then praise his name, because he loves you. And if he didn't chastise you, then you're not a son. You're, they say, a bastard child, which is sadly not a fun thing to think about. But anyway, God bless you guys.